Do you ever feel like Geometry Dash is unfair? You can spend hundreds of hours on a level and get nothing, while others make the laziest stuff and get tons of attention. Well, the truth is, this is by design. Hard work doesn't matter in this game. Now, I know that's a big statement to make, but just let me cook. Usually, if you ask people why effort is important, you'll get one of these answers. You need hard work to become a good creator, you need it to get recognized by the community and get famous, and you need to put in hard work to get a rated level. And at first, this makes sense. Almost every skilled creator has spent years building to get to where they are today. Xander Game has been building for almost 9 years, Kulik for at least 7, Blee for 4, and I've been here since 2016, which is almost half of my total age. This doesn't even mention the effort required to make good levels, like White Space, which took almost 2 years, Glorious Fortress, which took 500 hours, and my level Anarchy Road with over a year and 2,000 hours of work. Now, of course, there are a few exceptions like this person, but you can't deny that it takes lots of time to get good. And when you do get good, it usually leads to more opportunities. You'll get offers to join bigger collabs, people will find your levels through social media, and you can gain a following for yourself. Plus, if RobTop ever sees your levels, you're more likely to get creator points, which usually leads to more attention, in a cycle that keeps on giving you better results over time. But as I said, there are lots of exceptions. The most famous creators usually aren't the most skilled. In fact, they're usually GD moderators or know how to game your attention. Almost all of the biggest YouTube creator channels either are or were GD moderators, like Vibrant and Doremi. Levels like I Spy with My Little Eye and Change the Scene are popular and look engaging, but they fall apart once you pause and really dissect them. There are many skilled creators who get no attention either, despite creating levels for years. Not to mention how cool, one of the most popular creators out there, has 0 creator points. The top of the creator points leaderboard is filled with people who made lots of low effort levels in their career, while tons of good looking levels still aren't rated. The creator of the Milk Cat has mentioned how his level Logotomy, which is made in only a few days, has 4 times the downloads of Anarchy Road. Even though it has the lowest rate tier. If effort really mattered, then how does this make any sense? Well, let's take a step back and examine why this is. The rating system can be explained pretty easily. To get a rated level in Geometry Dash, you need it to be sent by a GD moderator, and is then put on a randomly sorted list of all set levels. RobTop chooses one of these lists to rate levels from, and then manually places rated levels on the feature tab. Even if you get a rate, getting put on the 5th page makes it much harder to get attention than if you were placed at the top of the first page. And to even try and get a rate, you need to either know a moderator who can send your level, or know someone else who can send it to a mod. That's not based on skill or effort, it's based on who you know in the community. To make things worse, RobTop is less likely to rate your levels if you have no creator points. The people who've gone through this system already can put less effort into their work and still be likely to get rates. Now, of course, RobTop can rate levels if it gets forced to by the community. That's how levels like Tidal Wave and Crimson Planet eventually got their rates, and while I don't like this strategy of community pressure, it can work if you have no other choice. But how do you make your levels popular with the community anyways? Well, it either has to get rated so people play it, or it needs to get popular on social media. Levels which get known this way usually have the same principles as videos which get popular. They either latch into a popular trend like lobotomy memes or the animation versus series, or they make for an interesting title, thumbnail, and do lots of flashy stuff to keep you watching. I mentioned these levels earlier, but both I Spy and Change the Scene use these tricks. They don't have that much detail, but they have tons of flashy animations points, which are perfect with short attention spans. If you can make good YouTube videos, then you can just make a video series on your level, like Jam Attack did with Glorious Fortress. These videos have enough views that at least a few people will check out the actual level because of them. If you want your level to get a YouTube showcase but don't have popularity through a video series, you once again need to know a showcase YouTuber or have a friend who does. Of course, none of this means you can't get popularity through a high effort level. Many people have done that, such as myself, Kuluk, and even the creator behind Korn. But even if you spend lots of time making a super detailed level, will anyone actually care? Let's be real, even though people talk about details all the time as creators, most people won't really see all that effort. If you're playing a level, you just want to see the gameplay and get it over with. And if you're watching a level, then big flashy animations work better than intricate details. Most people only play or watch levels for one reason, and that level's appeal usually overshadows its other qualities as a result. In my case, I've only seen a few people beat my level with all their collectibles, and only one person who actually tried to uncover the story from there, because that wasn't the main appeal of my level. By this point, I've shown you many examples where working hard and putting in a grind doesn't get you popularity or rated levels. But that doesn't mean you should just give up and quit creating entirely. You can still gain fame, get a rate, and improve your skills without needing 8 years and 5,000 hours of work. And here's how. If you've paid attention, you'll notice that each activity I mentioned still requires some effort. It takes effort to stay active in the community and find the right people to showcase your senior levels, it takes effort to build a presence and make interesting YouTube videos, and it still takes at least some effort to make decent levels. However, this effort is aimed at different goals than just making a high effort level for the sake of it. If you're trying to make a YouTube video about your levels, for example, just uploading replays of your work isn't going to be very efficient unless you make content which gets lucky and happens to get popular. But if you give people a reason to watch your videos, like adding commentary or discussing how you make things, you'll grow much faster and get more traction to your levels that way. The key here is finding the fastest way to reach your goals, instead of just taking the most difficult route. If you want to get lots of rated levels, spend a bit less time on each level and instead focus on finding moderators to send your stuff. If you want to make popular levels for YouTube, make visually engaging levels with lots of animations instead of focusing on every single tiny detail. This even applies for the most time-consuming parts of creating, like actually getting good. The best way to improve is not by trying to make every level your masterpiece and your best work. On average, each extra hour you spend working on a level will be less productive than the hour before. At the start, you'll make lots of progress with big things like the gameplay and the basic deco, but over time you'll spend the same amount of time trying to perfect smaller details instead of on major progress. Instead, try finishing a level, setting it up for feedback, and then focusing on solving the biggest problems in your next level. This idea is known as diminishing marginal utility, or the 80-20 rule, where you can get 80% of something done with about 20% of the actual work. You won't have a perfect project, but you won't be sacrificing your mental state either. Plus, if you focus on fixing the big issues in your levels instead of the smallest ones, you're less likely to encounter the sunk cost fallacy. This happens when you're unable to stop working on a project because you've spent lots of time or effort on it, even when moving on is the best choice. Since you're spending less time on a project, you can take a step back and decide if it's really worth finishing or if you should focus more on other things that will help you more. I know I've dropped a bunch of knowledge on you now, but to put it simply, hard work doesn't matter as much as efficient work. If you spend 300 hours doing something that could have taken just 30, you're not going to get better results, even if that sounds odd or counterintuitive. So while hard work doesn't matter in this game, smart work does. Now granted, it's hard to do this if you don't have any knowledge. If you don't know how to do something, it's much easier to brute force a solution for that moment. But in the long run, getting knowledge will make you a much smarter and more efficient creator, and that's why we have a Discord server with all the info you'll need to make DD levels. If you want to work smarter instead of brute forcing everything, check it out in the description.